Nice That You Looking At. Midnight Rain is a song by the American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift from her 10th original studio album, Midnights, 2022. She wrote and produced the track with Jack Antonoff. Driven by a distorted Moog synthesizer, the production of Midnight Rain incorporates a dubstep-influenced bass, trap and house beats, and Swift's pitch-down vocals. The song is electropop with elements of R&B, hip-hop, and indie-electronica. In the lyrics, the narrator contemplates on a lost love back in her hometown. Although the ex-lover wanted a comfortable domestic life, she chose to pursue her career and fame. Several critics who picked Midnight Rain as a highlight on Midnights deemed its production and vocal manipulation interesting and captivating. A few reviews found the vocal production otherwise off-putting or derivative. Midnight Rain peaked at number 5 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and Global 200. And it reached the top 10 on charts in Australia, Canada, India, Malaysia, the Philippines, Portugal, Singapore, and Vietnam. The song received certifications in Australia, Brazil, Canada, Spain, and the United Kingdom. Swift included the song on the set list of the Eras Tour, 2023-2024. Taylor Swift announced her 10th original studio album, Midnights, at the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards on August 28. Its title and cover artwork were released shortly after via social media. She conceived Midnights as a collection of songs about her nocturnal ruminations, detailing a wide range of emotions such as regret, lust, nostalgia, contentment, and self-loathing. The standard album was produced by Swift and Jack Antonoff. As a result of the two experimenting with music while their partners were both shooting for a film in Panama, the album's track listing was revealed via a 13-episode video series called Midnights Mayhem with Me on the platform TikTok, where each video contained the title of one track at a time. The title of Midnight Rain was revealed in the episode posted on September 28, 2022. Republic Records released Midnights on October 21, 2022. Midnight Rain is 6th on the standard album's track listing. Swift performed Midnight Rain as part of the Midnights act on her 6th concert tour, the Eras Tour, 2023-2024. Midway through the performance, Swift changed costume and appeared in a rhinestone bodysuit, as dancers performed a choreography using umbrellas. Midnight Rain debuted and peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Global 200. The track and 4 other Midnights songs made Swift the first artist to chart the entire top 5 the same week. In the United States, the track debuted and peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. In the lyrics, Swift's narrator contemplates on a lost love back in her hometown, and how she chose her career and fame over a domestic life. The refrain goes, "He wanted it comfortable. I wanted that pain. He wanted a bride. I was making my own name." She reflects how the ex-boyfriend stays the same, and she was chasing that fame. "All of me changed like midnight rain." In the verses, the narrator reflects on how her hometown was a wasteland, full of pretentious people, and ruminates on the possibilities of the domestic life she gave away. Towards the conclusion, the narrator reflects on this past with regret. "I guess sometimes we all get some kind of haunted, and I never think of him except on midnights like this." Some critics consider Midnight Rain the album's emotional centerpiece. Elise Ryan of the Associated Press deemed it the thesis statement of the 13 sleepless nights that Swift designated for Midnights. There were interpretations that related Midnight Rain to Swift's previous songs. According to the AV Club's Saloni Gajar and Vox's Rebecca Jennings, The theme of leaving a small town lover behind resembles many of the tracks of Swift's 2020 album, such as Champagne Problems, 'Tis the Damn Season, and Dorothea Mora Johnston. In her review for the Boston Globe, argued that while the track employs a diaristic songwriting that had been familiar in Swift's works, it also hints at some elements that are not necessarily so. Particularly in the refrain that sees Swift exploring her past and its murky memories. Some analyses factored in the influence of Swift's fame. For Esquire's Alan Light, her songwriting embodies the narrative-based approach that she used in her 2020 albums Evermore and Folklore. He wrote that the track demonstrates her mature perspective on her own career path, the determination, ambition, and sacrifices that got her to such rarefied altitude. In the New York Times, Lindsay Zoladz contended that the track represented Swift's shifted attitude towards romance, whereas her 2008 single, Love Story, depicted marriage as the ideal romantic ending with starry-eyed fairy tale imagery. Midnight Rain expresses ambivalence towards not only marriage but also the societal expectations and traditional timelines of adulthood. Writing for the alternative press, Ilana Kaplan considered Midnight Rain one of the album tracks where Swift grappled with the good girl image that she had constrained herself to, a notion that she had explained in the 2019 documentary Miss Americana. At 2 minutes and 54 seconds long, Midnight Rain has a sparse production driven by a distorted Moog synthesizer throughout its bass, displays influences of dubstep, and its beats feature elements of house, trap, and indie pop. The track begins with Swift's vocals that are manipulated to a lower pitch resembling a male singing voice, constituting its hook. To achieve this sound, Antonoff modulated her singing voice using synth plugins including Soundtoys and iZotope Vocal Synth. He said that it was the first time he used such devices in music production. The overall sound is electropop with elements of R&B, electronica, hip-hop, and electro-hip-hop. The atmosphere and pacing were described as slow-burning and woozy by several critics. Music critics discussed the significance of the vocal manipulation. Mackenzie Wadsworth of the Tallahassee Democrat considered it a mature sister to the styles of Swift's 2017 album Reputation, bringing forth an alternative pop feel. According to Ellen Johnson of Paste, the effect aligns Midnight Rain with the subgenre indietronica, and the beats evoke the styles of Sturfka. Billboard's Jason Lipschutz described the shift between Swift's pitched-down voice and normal singing as a call and response between the song's narrator and the ex-lover in question. Several reviews compared the production, particularly the vocal parts, to Antonoff's work on Lorde's 2017 album Melodrama. Rob Sheffield of Rolling Stone said that the Butch Femme duet, where Swift experiments with her singing, was akin to the styles of Prince. While John Caramanica of the New York Times wrote that the overcast mood of the production and vocals were influenced by Drake and The Weeknd. Several critics who picked Midnight Rain as a highlight on Midnights considered its production experimental, interesting, and captivating. Spencer Kornhaber of The Atlantic appreciated how the oozing and panning noises evoke a feeling of suspended time. Wadsworth considered the sound an amalgamation of Swift's past styles, and Craig Jenkins from Vulture deemed it one of the R&B tinged album tracks that showcased her abilities to create a mannered genre reset, constantly threatening to cut in an alluring new direction. Commenting on the vocal modulation, Spin's Bobby Olivier regarded it as well executed, landing an uncharacteristically soulful smolder. Lipschutz ranked Midnight Rain fifth on his ranking of all 13 Midnights tracks. He described the shifted vocal hook as rock solid, giving Swift's real singing voice more clarity and power in the final refrain. Some critics were also fond of the storytelling lyrics. The Times' Will Hodgkinson regarded Midnight Rain as an album track that summarized Swift's midnight paranoia to extreme heights. And Ryan particularly highlighted the refrain for displaying Swift's talents of writing lyrics that evoke universal emotions. There were not as welcoming comments regarding the vocal effects. Spin's Al Shipley said that they sounded like an embarrassing relic of 2010's SoundCloud production trends. Paul Attard from Slant magazine felt that they were burdened by excessive reverb and turned out redundant, and Mary Soroki from Consequence said that they were overwhelming and distracting. NPR's Ann Powers appreciated how the shifts between Swift's modulated and real vocals symbolized the storytelling perspectives of the subject and the narrator. But she contended that this production style somewhat diminished the impact of Swift's songwriting. Mark Richardson of The Wall Street Journal deemed Midnight Rain a solid song that displayed a high level of songcraft, but he commented that it was unexceptional and not groundbreaking. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.